what's your process of getting through the editing and trying to make this the best work possible?
Well, I think that's such a great question, and it's so important. I am really lucky to belong to a fantastic writers group that I founded up here in the Arctic Circle. I live in northern New Hampshire. You know, it's the second coldest place on the planet in February after Antarctica, and I'm not kidding you there. But what this region lacks in economy, it excels at in creativity. There are more writers per capita up here, and some of them are just fantastic. So what has really helped me is the feedback that I get on my writing from my writers group. I'll read it aloud. I'll get feedback from them. They'll pick up on, you know, the places where I wanted them to be upset or terrified or inspired or, you know, to laugh. And that feedback is invaluable. What I started doing long before I joined the writers group was I generally do about 5 drafts of a story. There's the longhand draft, which to me is the hardest and the most enjoyable, and then there are the subsequent ones done on the computer where I edit. The very last edit that I do is I read it out loud to myself, and anything that jags on the ear, I generally can catch it and fix that jag. And I don't gloss over my edits. I'm really vicious to myself when it comes to that final out loud cleaning edit. So if I've reached a part where the words are a jumble and they're not clear, or they're not as poetic as I want them to be, or whatever, is I will not move on until I have fixed that part of the story. So I think an out loud edit, where you read it aloud with the door shut, in the privacy of your writing space, to catch anything that might be redundant, words used too close together in the same paragraph. I had an editor who once said his recommendation was, don't use the same specific word, you know, not the banal words like the and but something that's really specific, if you can help it, within the, you know, the same 3 paragraphs. Mm-hmm. That to me has been really invaluable. I'm really hard on my own, you know, creativity when it comes to that final edit, and I'm happy because once that's done, the story is ready to go. So I find that helps. You know, having feedback from other writers whose talent I trust and admire, and then having my own, you know, final run through where I can just massage the story into perfect shape to get it out the door. I don't trust that when I hit send, even if it's to an editor that I've worked with a million times, that the editor is there to clean up my story. I want it clean enough to eat off of. And many, many times I've had editors say, my God, this thing came in more professional than the big name best-selling author in the anthology. And have been, you know, referred to as a clean enough to eat off of copy. So I find that really is my, you know, I guess my permission slip before I hit send.
So that is actually fantastic. You know, the reading out loud is so important, and I also have to say, because I'm not a fantastic line editor. I don't do my own line edit work. It's something that I'm not a fan of doing, you know, and trying to dig in and make sure. And so I always send it out. So let's, you know, for instance, our anthology that you're a part of with A Bleak New World, you're right. Like getting that back from my line editor and having to go through and see where she was making corrections on other people's work, and then I come to your story and there's like one thing. There's one thing in there. And I'm like, wow. You know, that's just that makes a big difference.
I love that book, by the way. I love that book.
Well, thank you. So I'm excited to get that one out. It certainly has been too long.
Thank you for listening, and come back next week for more. Please visit thebookeditorshow.com for show notes, links to guests, books and extras, and for information on how to be a guest on the show.